Go.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, I'm Tracy. I'm the CA for Financial Planning, and this is
my dad.
Hey, Dad.
Hi.
What's your name?
Joe.
Hi, Joe. You guys want to come on back with me?
Sure.
So where'd you guys come in from today?
New York.
New York? That's a long trip. Did you guys drive or fly?
He drove.
Woo, the whole way, or did you guys stop at least?
I didn't want to drive. No stop. Straight through.
Dad's mean.
Yeah,
Making you have to go all the way through?
You have no idea.
Ah, how long of a drive is that?
About 11 hours or so.
A long drive there. My goodness. So what brings you all the way down here then for culinary you're doing, right?
Yes. I really like to cook, and I can never
We're gonna
forget.
go right on in here. You're fine. Everybody does that. We're gonna go over to the left, so very far back. It's gonna be cubicle 6, right by all the windows. You guys just wanna have a seat. Whichever side you want. Doesn't matter, I can access the computer either way, so no big deal. So you've always liked a love of cooking,
Yes. Yes. I really enjoy cooking. So
so it brought you down here to Sullivan.
yes.
Good.
Great things.
I'm not good at cooking, so I would probably not be the person for this, but I'm definitely the person to be able to tell you what it's gonna look like. So Dad, are you excited?
I am.
Is this the first time she'll be away from home?
Yes.
All right. Are you happy or sad about that?
A little
Sometimes they're a
nervous
little
about it.
excited when they get out of the house. All right. Well, if you guys are ready, we're going to go ahead and go over your financial aid. So the first thing that we want to go over here is your Borrow Wisely. So the Borrow Wisely form that we always go over, you'll get this every time that you receive an award letter. And the reason is we just want to make sure that you guys know and are aware that every time you receive loans, we're going to give you the maximum amount that you're eligible for. It is up to you to tell us whether or not you want that amount or not, okay? And the reason why we tell you that is because if you don't need it, don't borrow it. It just makes it a little bit easier for yourself when you're having to pay those back, okay? So the first thing we'll go over is actually what you're eligible for an annual or yearly amount. The yearly amount that you get is dependent on whether or not you're an independent or a dependent student. You are actually a dependent student, so with Dad on there, we would be able to, you'll get a lower amount in some of those loans. Now the actual amount that you receive for a lifetime is listed here. So you do have a lifetime limit on those loans. So you do want to make sure that you're paying attention to those. You cannot get this full amount all in one lump sum. It is spread over your actual academic year. So for your undergraduate, that's all the way through your bachelor. So just make sure you're paying attention, especially in that culinary program. You're doing an associate degree. So just be aware that if you plan to go for a bachelor's, make sure you're borrowing wisely on that. So these are your actual lifetime limits. This is what you've used so far in those. So of course you do have this much left in eligibility. Listed below, we always show you guys our NSLDS website, which is the National Student Loan Data System. This is actually a good website for you to be able to pay attention to any of those federal grants or loans that you've ever received. They'll be out there on that website. So it uses your specific information, you know, that FSA ID that you use to log in.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what it will use in order to identify the loans attached to you. Okay? Any questions at all on this? Okay. All right, so now we're actually going to go over your actual award letter. So you are going into the culinary program, right, Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. So we do have you set up on that. Now we do have it set up for the summer through the winter quarter. Our academic year here at Sullivan is always 9 months. So just keep that in mind because what we're looking at today is only the first 3 quarters worth of charges. We will bring you back in at the end of those 3 quarters to get you repackaged for your final set of quarters because your program is 6 quarters long. Okay? Okay, so listed first are your estimated expenses. You'll see here you have general fees. Now we've estimated those out per the classes that you've told us that you want to take. So you want to do 3 classes per term. So we have the amount set up here to show that. Next we have your book allotment. So we just are going to go ahead and set up an amount for you to have in books. That way you can charge straight to the bookstore and it goes onto your account and your financial aid when it comes in will take care of that. So we have that set up quarterly for you as well with the total amount over here on the side. And then your tuition, it is right now for you a contract rate. So you'll see the contract rate. Be mindful of the contract rate as it can change. The actual contract rate doesn't change, but if you're taking different class loads, the actual tuition doesn't change. So you can take 2 classes and it's still going to be this amount. You can take 10 classes and it'll still be this amount. So make sure you're mindful of that when you're looking at your schedule, because that is set. Then you have your comprehensive fees. Those are your fees that are going to cover those lovely labs that you're going to be taking. All that food you get to eat. We do have to make sure that we keep it nicely supplied. So that's where those comprehensive fees come in. Every time you take a lab class, a comprehensive fee is attached to it. Okay? These are your total costs. Any questions at all so far on your costs?
No.
No?
I think so.
Okay. Now below that are what we are estimating right now that you're eligible for in financial aid. Now financial aid actually involves anything and everything that comes in and helps you cover your costs here. So it's not, a lot of people just believe that may be something associated to just your Pell Grant, but that actually encompasses everything. So loans, grants, scholarships, okay? So the first item, we always start off with your grants of what you're eligible for. The Pell Grant that you are eligible for is listed quarterly. It does show, it will reflect based off of what your actual attendance is in full-time, part-time classes. So when I said full-time or part-time, 12 credit hours, which for us is usually at least 3 classes, and then part-time, which is 6 credit hours. So of course right now we have you set as a full-time student. You want to make sure that anytime your classes change that you come in and let us know, because that can change what you're going to be awarded and can affect what your other aid would be. Okay? Next up, you're eligible for your loans. So the loans here we have are your subsidized loan and your unsubsidized loan. Are you aware at all of the subsidized or unsubsidized loan?
Not really.
Okay, so these loans are actually from the government, so they are from the Department of Education. They are loans for you to be able to help you cover your costs of schooling. So there's no credit check or anything on these. They are there for you to use. Of course, it is a loan, so you do have to pay it back. They do have an interest rate on them as well. So you will actually, on your subsidized loan, the interest does not accrue while you're in school. So it's kind of a benefit of this one. The actual government will pay that while you're in school. Your unsubsidized loan, the interest does accrue the whole time. Okay? They do have a nice 6-month grace period though. So once you get out of school, they're going to give you 6 months to get working and be able to make those payments. Okay? Your lender will actually keep in contact with you on those. These are annual amounts. So when I was talking, you have annual loan limits based off of your dependency status. These are your actual annual limits that you're eligible for. We do have to spread those evenly over the 3 quarters, so you won't ever see the full amount in 1 quarter. And usually it's just divided nicely over all 3.
Okay.
Any questions on those?
No.
Okay. And then below that, we've got your scholarships. So good job on those. You received 3 different scholarships. Some of those are based off your testing. So really good job on making sure that you, tested really well. Got some extra money there. You don't have to worry about paying that stuff back. That's nice. So of course these do have some eligibility requirements on there. So though you may have tested or watched a video for the Imagine America, it does have other eligibility requirements you have to pay attention to. The most important one is your GPA. You have to stay at a 2.5 GPA in order to maintain these. So we just ask that you kind of watch your GPA each quarter, make sure that if you drop below that 2.5, that you actually contact financial aid to let us know so we can figure out a way to get that covered. Okay?
Okay.
All right, and then we have your total amount here of what you're going to receive in financial aid, and it does cover what your total charges are. Do you have any questions at all?
No, I don't think. You said I do have to pay the loans back.
You do have to pay the loans back. Yes, so right now this is what you're looking at to pay back.
And am I responsible for those, or is my dad responsible?
You are responsible for these, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and get you to sign.
Okay.